Yes. Woo, record button.
Warning, this podcast may contain bad language and content and language again and more content that some listeners may find offensive. Maybe if you went to Sight Village or not, who knows? This one's going to be about Sight Village, where we went.
I didn't
Yes.
go.
Yeah. Well, it might have been for the best. Welcome back to Seesaw Podcast, the show that is the 90s disco CD of podcasts. I am the Sultan of Seesaw, the Presidente of Podcast T, and I'm here with Cleaves and Selina.
Selena's like the,
perfect.
what's Selena then? Like the Princess Jasmine, and I'm what? Iago.
No, you're Abu.
Great. I'm not even a rich parrot. I'm a poor monkey.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Who caused all of the problems.
Did he?
Yeah, he took the ruby.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, I thought Aladdin took the lamp though. Really, that was the problem.
Yeah, but that's the only thing they were allowed to take.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do cause problems.
Yep.
Probably a good analogy.
Yeah. It was not meant to be one. So, what's been going on before we jump into the topic?
How's football going, Selena? Currently for England, it's going well. At the time of this podcast coming out, who knows?
Yeah. Great for the England men at the minute. My football, yeah, it's been busy. I did some media work yesterday with the Lionesses, which was fun.
Does that mean you're going to be towing more of the middle party line of the seesaw these days?
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Nothing else to share?
Um, Not really. I mean, yeah, I just play football a lot. Had camp at the weekend, then I had the media thing. There's more football next weekend. Obviously, football's on our TV at the minute.
What do they actually teach you in media training?
No, it wasn't really media training. It was do this now. Like just follow instructions. That's what you do. You follow instructions and be casual, be cool.
Okay.
I hope that those were bullet points of the presentation.
Yeah,
I hope it
that's
wasn't an
fine.
hour-long presentation if that's all you got out of it.
No, it was actually just an hour in total. But
Wow.
Yeah, okay, fair.
oh good.
Yeah, I can be fucked for that.
Got to wear the New England kit.
Sick.
That
That's
was
pretty good.
quite, didn't get to keep it, but
Oh,
yeah, very nice.
Oh,
good. T?
Cleaves, what's going on with you?
Oh, me. Well, I went to Silverstone and I'm back from the racing. It was very wet. It very rarely stopped raining at Silverstone, other than one of the English football games and about 2 hours before the race. The rest of the time, rained in varying degrees and pretty much non-stop. I went on the Dodgems, so that's pretty sick. Probably my favorite ride. And I went on this huge ride called Atmosphere. It was like a big sort of pendulum. That's what it was called. And then and then it sort of to describe it, you sort of sit in like a large disc at the bottom, and then which is on the bottom of like a pendulum thing, and it like spins you up and sort of hangs you upside down and then goes round in like a big loop and round and around and round.
Oh, sounds scary.
It was pretty scary. I had a brief moment when I was standing on the steps waiting for the ride, thinking, I'm not sure I made the right decision here. But then as soon as I actually sat down in the seat, I was like, this is gonna be sick. Let's do this.
Nice.
But do you triple check like that that you're locked in properly? That I had a nightmare recently about that. Well, I don't know why I was on a ride, but that I wasn't locked in properly. The bit that you're in place.
I did pull it down pretty much as hard as I could, and it didn't seem to be going anywhere.
Mm.
But it didn't really give you any handholds. That was the only frightening thing. You sort of had to hold on to sort of the chest rest
Oh,
for like dear life. But I enjoyed it. It was good. I had plenty of beers. I met SpongeBob at the racetrack. That was pretty cool. They had a SpongeBob F1 car there. And then, the racing was good as well. Three Brits, top three for qualifying, and Hamilton wins his first race in like 2 years.
Yeah.
it was an awesome, awesome weekend, other than the rain and the camping. They both
Birthday.
still suck.
Yeah, excellent.
How about yourself, T?
Not a lot. Not a lot. The only real thing that I've done recently is the topic of this week.
What about a pup date on Ted?
Oh, he's fine.
Oh, great.
He's fine now. He's absolutely fine now. 2 weeks of rest and he's fine.
Good.
Just getting him back into it, nice and steady. Like get his pads a little bit more worn in steadily. So he's not been doing super long walks, but just building them up little bit by little bit. And in the office today, so he had fun. He always does.
In People Are Nice news, some guy helped me out when I was in the F1 that just went in the toilet and I couldn't see the cubicles very well. It's like, here's a free one, buddy. I was like, cheers. And then also in the co-op today, as I was walking out of the co-op and crossing the zebra crossing, someone was just like, need a hand or anything? I'm like, no, I'm good, cheers. Telling you, mate, people are nice.
Great. I'm glad you're having those experiences.
I'm spotlighting the positive things now. That's going to be my mission.
Good. One of us has to.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh
We
yeah,
have a lot-
voting as well.
Oh yeah, voting.
How was the voting experience?
Not
Did you?
good. I was a bit surprised actually. Yeah, I didn't want to be one of those people.
Did you get any of the adjusted
I
things
got
that you can
I
get?
got the tactile thingy to go over the ballot paper, but it was a different tactile thing that I've been used to. And the thing is, it didn't actually go over it, it went to the side of it. And it had braille numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there was 5 candidates in my area. And then I said to the lady, it's like, oh, do you peel a bit back then to like put your cross in? Because I thought it was a like that's how you feel it. And it just lined up with the squares. I was like, well, how do I know that I'm going to write it in the square, like my cross, because you couldn't feel it? She goes, oh, can you feel this little? I swear she was just trying to make me feel flat paper and telling me there was a bump there. There was nothing there. So she just did it in the end. So I got there was, and by the time we left, there was a queue outside the door because I think I just held everyone up. But yeah, it wasn't a private vote.
Oh,
Fair. Okay.
fair.
I'm going to do postal next time.
Postal was
Yeah.
a bag of piss.
Yeah, I think then even that way I can make my own tactile device. Make
Nice.
sure I my own cross.
Well, just quickly on the voting as well, after seeing a BBC East Midlands interview that did touch on it a little bit. This is just a message to all those people who are disabled complaining on Twitter about politics. You know who you are. There's a lot of you doing it. After this election, as far as individual MPs declaring they have any form of disability, there are none to this point. So you know what? Stop fucking complaining, get into politics, and maybe represent instead of pretending to be an advocate. If you really care, go into politics.
They are also complaining today. I saw that there's no disability minister that's been appointed yet.
Well, maybe if there was a disabled person who ran for a governmental position in their local constituency, they might actually be able to go and fill that seat.
Or, hear me out, right? What if instead they got together some sort of council and the top council candidates all fought it out in some sort of gladiatorial combat
Jesus.
and the winner of them became the disabled minister?
See around 15 episodes ago for that reference.
That was a long time ago, and I can't remember why we had that topic.
We were making the world a better place.
Yes.
Okay.
Access all areas.
Yeah, my very
Okay.
smart idea, which was turned into gladiatorial combat.
Well, I'm just saying it had a few kinks to be worked out
Yes.
with combat.
We're not there yet, though. We're not there yet. So, yeah, that was my message to the political-minded disabled people on social media. Maybe go into that line of things. I mean, let's be fair, a lot of you aren't working. So, let's get on to the topic
now.
of the week.
I can't wait.
Strike Village 2024.
Dun 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 dun
Eastside Rooms, Birmingham.
dun dun
Mhm.
dun dun.
We went for the day. We didn't do 2 days this time. We did last year. Thought it was a complete waste of time to do 2 days. So this time around, we were like, we'll just do one day, stay the night, yeah, get some coverage, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
It was a mixed bag. Me being
Right.
generous.
Do you? So
So we had to do this in some sort of order.
I'm thinking, right, I'm going to talk about like what we did, how we got there, and then what we did at the site village daytime. We'll just do it in chronological
Yeah, that's what I mean. We'll do it
okay.
chronologically.
Okay, of our particular days. And Selena, feel free to ask us as many or
Yes,
as questions as
I
you
will.
wish.
I will.
I can tell you I was pretty tired that morning because I didn't get back from Silverstone until about 10:30, 11
Mm.
o'clock the night before. And then we were out the door by 6 a.m., weren't we, on the National
Yep.
Express bus to catch it at 7 o'clock, which had actually been moved back in time. Like its original was meant to be leaving at 20 past 7. They were like, oh, no, we're going to have to move this timetable at 5 past 7. And I was like, all right, fine. Anyway, that thinking thing turned up, what was it, half an hour late?
Half an hour late. Yep.
Yeah.
Ah.
Just hanging around a fucking coach station. Just for no reason. Just,
Which has been
Not,
an ongoing theme since we started going to Side Village.
yeah. Spoiler
not
alert, it
good
was late
stuff.
coming back.
Okay.
But we got
So
there.
you got on the bus or coach
Yeah.
and you got to Birmingham. Did you find the location okay?
Yeah, we just took an Uber straight from coach station to the East Side rooms. So we're all good in that respect.
Hmm.
They didn't
How were
seem
you greeted on arrival?
we
There were
weren't really.
no. That's the first thing that we noticed, and we really picked up on it later on, where they usually would have outside like people in like red t-shirts with like Site Village on them, the sponsors and that sort of thing. Said, "Oh, you're here for Site Village. Oh, we'll show you the way." That sort of thing. There were none,
Hmm.
at
Is
least none that
there?
we saw.
No. I mean, we walked straight. Well, luckily, we knew where it was,
Hmm.
and there were like balloons outside. Not that
Okay.
necessarily denotes Site Village unless you realise it was like its 30th
Or you can see the fucking
birthday.
balloons.
Or you
I would have liked if they put some like those rice, the ones that you get at fun fairs, and they put rice in it, and then you bang them like off your hand, and they make a noise. If they put some rice in those balloons, like in the wind, it would have made like a noise, and people would have known.
Yeah.
would you have known that? Does that denote Site Village to you?
I don't know. It was just an audio cue I was thinking to help you find the venue. Anyway, okay.
Touche.
True. But it wasn't really breezy, so I don't think it would have really helped.
I was bright and breezy
Yes, you are.
by this point.
So getting there, absolutely fine. Uber's absolutely fine. Just Ubered everything. Just easy. Birmingham's cheap for Uber. That's one benefit of Birmingham. The Ubers are really cheap. And then we decided to have a bit of a wander around before we started doing some media stuff. It was about as busy as it was last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was any less or more busy.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the same people were there. See last year for
Everything.
basically everything. Still sponsored by Sight and Sound, who had the biggest area,
And Arnib.
and Arnib, big area, and Vision Aid, big area as well. But they're the three big people who go there. There were a few that weren't there this time around. So like RNC, who we spoke to last year, they weren't there.
I think they were meant to be there.
If they were, we didn't see them. I've not looked through the full site list, to be fair.
I think
But they
I
only
saw
had a
them.
small stand last year, to be fair. So they might have been there and we just missed them.
Yeah. And then there were a few newbies, there. One of which we did get to have a chat with, and actually have some recording for it. So perhaps that might be included here, or it might be an extra. I'll leave that to Cleaves.
We'll put it in here. Here's Suzie from I Matter, award-winning entrepreneur and volunteer of the year from RNIB.
Hello, we're here with Suzie from I Matter. Hi Suzie, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And how are you enjoying Site Village so far?
Yeah, we've been round and said hello to as many people as possible. It's been very exciting bumping into people that we know. It's really nice.
And what is it you're here with today?
I'm here to represent I Matter. I'm the founder and CEO, and we're coming to spread the love across the north. And hopefully get lots of new members.
And what is it that I Matter does?
We're a peer support and social inclusion charity for anyone living with a visual impairment. And last year we did 200 Zoom events and more than 36 outings. So we just want to entertain and educate and empower people to have the best lives that they can have. And we just won a massive award with the RNIB See Differently Award, so we're very excited.
What award was it?
I won Volunteer of the Year.
Oh, amazing. So these sorts of Zoom events and outings, what do they sort of entail?
Laughter, a lot of laughter and enjoyment. We have some basic ground rules to try and keep the sessions so that everybody gets to be involved and everybody gets to speak. And we have about 13 or 14 different activities that are on. They're on like a loop, so they go round and round. So we have chair yoga, book club, inspiring life talks. We have concerts, and we have chair yoga that's audio described, obviously. And we have brain aerobics to try and improve your memory, which is a lot of fun. And we've started grief workshops recently, so that we're embracing trying to help people to move forward from their loss. And we do empowering and confidence building, and we do drama workshops. We do a lot. We just ran a sports day for 50 people. We've run our first abroad holiday with Seeable Holidays this June.
Wow.
And then in August we're running our first UK holiday. We're going to Hailsham. We've got 40 people. We sold out. Everything that we do sells out, and we're trying to get more people involved in Zoom so we can help people to find a safe, lovely place to communicate and just be able to drop in and drop out whenever you feel like.
Brilliant. And lastly then, for people that want to find I Matter, where can they find you?
We have a website. It's imatter.org.uk. That's EYEMATTER. And if you want to just email me, it's Suzie, SUZIE, at imatter.org.uk. But on our website, we have membership sign up, and we also have volunteer sign up. So there's loads of stuff to get involved with.
And then that's what we'll put that in.
Okay.
So that was the only individual from a new stand who actually wanted to talk to us.
Oh dear.
Well, here's the issue, right?
Ooh.
If you went there last year and you talked to as many people as we did, which quite frankly was a lot,
Yeah.
there wasn't that many new people there this year that we wanted to speak to.
Okay.
And the people that we did want to speak to were happy to talk, but they didn't want to be recorded. So
Why?
they just said no, like, no, I'm too shy, or no, I don't want to do it. And that's
It's
fair enough.
promoting whatever they're doing, exactly what they're doing right there at Sight Village, except it's going to go to a wider audience. Why not?
You'll have to ask them.
I'll be honest, Lena,
Why do
I didn't want to stand and have that argument with them, to be honest. Or in a lot of cases, the stands were so like there was one stand, there was a police stand there that I wanted to speak to if they'd have actually spoken to me. I don't know what the police's rules are.
Police Association, I think it was.
It was, I think, yeah. So I thought that would have been
really
good.
Interesting.
But fuck me, this guy was just chatting this person's ear off, and we stood there for like 10 minutes waiting, and we're like, right, fuck this. And then we came back later on, and there was someone else doing a similar thing.
Came about 40 minutes later, and I can't say if it was or was not the same guy, but it was another person who had been there for a significant amount of time, and we didn't want to stick around that long with them just to be told they don't want to.
Yeah. We spoke to a person from Talking News Federation who do talking newspapers for the blind. So watch this space. We might be doing something with them. Again, she was pretty helpful, but didn't want to be on to actually talk about it.
No.
We spoke to someone from a college down in Devon, similar to RNC, but with people for complex needs as well. Again, declines to be on. Goalball, there was no one at the fucking stand when we were there twice.
Yeah.
We walked around Sight Village because we know our way around it now. We must have walked
Yeah.
around it 4 times at least.
Yeah, about 4 times.
Um, and we got around it much quicker this year because a load of the shit we were like saw it last year, done it, saw it last year. We
Yeah.
got to see some people that we like to speak to. Ruth from Luck was there, so we chatted to her for a bit. That was good to catch up with Luck and what they were doing. But yeah, there was not a lot of new people there.
No. There was one which we will be also potentially having something down the line with. Blind Golf UK.
Okay.
We both gave golf a go. I
Right.
They had a little demo
a
section.
little demo section with a net and using a training grip and how the sport works.
There's a little video that I might put up on YouTube.
Yeah. Really, really fun. I enjoyed it to the point where potentially going to look at more options in the area because I'm getting of that age now. Take up some golf.
Plus, you could really use the fashion tips.
Yep. But no, that's really good. And there's so much to talk about with that. We're probably going to get some of those guys on in a future episode, do a proper episode on blind golf
Okay.
and not condense it into a 2 minute from Sight Village because what they're doing is a lot of great stuff. They're a charity and they're doing a lot of amazing things when it comes to volunteers for like blind golfers, the training and various things like that, and like subsidizing world tournaments, like accommodation and all sorts of stuff. They're doing fantastic things, which I think it needs its own time instead of a 2 minute summarize your shit, which it's too much for that. And of course, Selina, you like a bit of sports.
Yeah.
So,
I'll get involved in that chat. So yeah, cool.
I thought it was good the fact that you actually got to give it a little bit of a demo
mm,
because like that was only like one of the sport things there that you actually got to have a go at. The rest is obviously like charitable stands and things like that. You can go and talk to people, and that's great. And the rest is, well, we after a while, me and T stopped calling it Sight Village and started calling it the Festival of Magnifiers.
yeah. So many fucking magnifiers. To the point, at one point, I was picking up something that I thought was a magnifier, and woman said, "Oh no, that's not a magnifier. That's just what we use to take payments on magnifiers." I'm like, they all look the fucking same.
Yeah.
There were so many, and I know
Did
it
you
would. Go ahead.
did you go to any seminars this year?
No.
Why is that?
Well, we looked at a lot of the topics. Some of them that are written down was like there was one on disabled students allowance. It's like no. Envision one again that was there last year. There was one on AI. There was a couple on well-being. I think Luck was actually doing one of those on well-being.
Employability as well.
Yes, there's like next steps or something.
Yeah.
There was one that was like beyond bump darts, getting creative with extra tactile markings. And I was like,
Ooh, come on. Did that not?
look,
They didn't resonate.
they did not resonate. And me and T we went around and we had a little play. We had a little play around the sight and sound area, didn't we? We had to go on those phones. Again, I think there's a video of me like testing out what I initially thought was a calculator. But
It's a massive fucking phone.
yeah.
It is huge.
I'd imagine it gives the Doros a run for their money in terms of how large and elderly friendly it is.
Yep. And that might be on a Price is Blind coming up soon.
Although I did have trouble because like I saw there is a little screen at the top of it and it had like a little message button on it. So I was like, oh, I'll just press the screen. No, it wasn't a touch screen. So it did confuse the likes of me.
Yeah. So we were there for 4 hours, I would say.
Absolutely not. We were barely there for 2.
Okay. We were there for 2 hours. It felt like 4.
Wow. So not even
We got there
half a
we got there like 10:15
Yeah.
and about 5 to 12 we were at the pub waiting for it to open.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Needless to say, I don't think we'll be going back next year. I just don't think there's
don't know.
enough.
Did
I
you not think to talk to members of the public to get their views maybe of how they're finding Sight Village? That could have been some content.
Well, if
And
only you were there to suggest that, Selena. We could have done that, to be fair.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
but we didn't. I guess we
No.
were a bit, for lack of a better word, bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, we just, last year it was great, and if we just had the one day there last year, I
Mm,
imagine, it was entertaining, it was good, it was all new stuff. We were releasing new tours, whereas this year we were like, done it, seen it, got that
yeah.
t-shirt, got that tote bag.
Yeah.
So
And also on the interviewing the public, it's one thing us asking people who are consenting, who are there for work or volunteering for charities. There might be issues Site Village would take with us accosting people off the street. So that's also something we'd have to look in if we wanted to do that.
unless we accosted them on the street, which we actually later on we got accosted.
Yes, we
We
did.
got
By
some free
Jesus.
Jesus. We got some free Jesus chocolate.
Oh, right.
Um, when okay, so we got to the pub around 12-ish and
Yeah.
like had some lunch and some beers and stuff like that. Shout out to the Gloucester Green and then to the Sacks of Potatoes. We went to two pubs, and then we were going back to the hotel to like drop off our stuff before the evening event. And as we were waiting for the Uber, uh, JW Society, which I assume is Jehovah's Witness, a
Yeah.
couple of them had come and said hello, and we're like, "Oh, we're looking at the Braillist meeting or something, which was meant to happen in the Gloucester Green pub between the end of Sight Village and
Right.
the evening entertainment starting, which tells you roughly how long we were in the pub for." So, and they were like, "Oh, we just had a bit of a chat," and then they gave us some Jesus packs with we keep calling them Jesus packs, but like it had some chocolates in it and some Braille stuff and where to find them. So who knows? It might be in the show notes if I've still got um the parchment, whatever
Okay.
you call it.
Yeah.
What do you call Braille paper? Is it Braille parchment?
No, it's just
Yeah, parchment paper, yeah.
Is
no,
it
I just call it paper.
papyrus?
No.
No, it's not that.
Okay, fine, whatever. It's got that sort of parchmenty feel. It's a bit thicker, isn't it?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's thicker than Pyrus. I remember doing some of that at school.
So anyway, yeah, we went back to the travel lodge and dumped our stuff. And then we went back to the East Side Ruins for the evening entertainment, 30th celebratory dinner and drinks,
It wasn't
etc.
dinner.
Well, it wasn't dinner, no.
Oh,
Well, anyway, yeah, for that. Now,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
You already had a preview of what to expect.
Okay.
you did, you're right.
Do
Well,
you have any questions on the day of Sight Village before we move on to the evening?
it sounds like the only question you had so far is why didn't you do more and just go down the pub?
I mean, it sounded like you gave up a little bit, but
You weren't there, Selena. You
I
didn't know what it
wasn't.
was like.
That's true. That's true. It was hard work.
Last year, I feel like we did enough to have probably covered this year as well.
There's some great content you got last year as well, so I was expecting more of the same, and I'm surprised to hear the reluctance of the stall
I
holders.
mean,
Me
you
too.
literally would have just had the same this year if we had actually just done what we did last year because they were pretty much all the fucking same stands.
Yeah, and a lot of them have brought the same or very similar stuff as well.
A magnifier's a magnifier for fuck's sake. How do you choose a magnifier from all of those like 80 different variants all costing £2,000? They're all the same.
Okay.
Use a phone. You already own it. Jesus Christ. Oh, this one has a light on it. Guess what else has one? Your phone. Fucking hell.
The thing is, right, if you'd got one of those phones that I'd play about with like the calculator
Oh,
one.
that didn't have a light on it.
No, it did not.
And I don't think it had a magnifier either.
No. But it did have volume that you could press on the side to make the speakiness of it go up.
You know what else has volume on the side?
No, what?
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the evening.
Okay, right, we got there and there were people queuing for tickets, right? And we thought that was I thought that was the queue to like scan the tickets to get in. No, that was people queuing just to get a free ticket. And once we showed the guy, he was like, "Oh, you've already got tickets," and just like bleeped us straight in. Anyway, for anyone that went to Sight Village or was there at Sight Village last year, where the sort of cafe area and the seminar rooms were,
Yeah.
they sort of took
On,
the like
yeah.
walls out, the extra walls, and they made it into like a
Big open area.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's loads of like tables with cloths on and like those. You get like little glitter bits on the table. They had like little glitter 30s on there and things like that, like white tablecloths. Just to set
Nice.
the mood. We got free beer with our tickets.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, free drink.
Yeah.
That.
And we'd already had many by this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, we rocked up and we sat at the back because I wanted to remain fairly elusive whilst watching the entertainment, shall we say?
Well, we'll get to the entertainment.
But the general show.
But first, before the entertainment, there was 45 minutes of speeches. Now, I know I will put my hands up and I will say
That wasn't the itinerary though.
that wasn't on the itinerary. Okay.
It was.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Okay.
I will put my hands up and say Sight Village delivers a lot to a lot of people. It might not be for me, but they deliver a lot to a lot of people. There's clearly a lot of hard work that goes into it. And I completely get that. I really do. And 30 years, woo! Great. Like, awesome. Like, really good.
Not meant to be as sarcastic
No,
as it sounds.
no. But 45 minutes of patting yourselves on the back does not for an interesting watch make. I found it excruciating. Just so much of it was just like, oh, these people who have been doing this for years and years and years and have probably benefited because they were all like CEOs of like Sight and Sound and like the charity that does like Sight Village as well.
Queen Anne's College, yeah.
Yeah, Queen Anne's College. Like CEOs who get fucking paid, they're not volunteers. And then at the end, it was like, oh, and let's just have a round of applause for our fantastic volunteers who we couldn't do this without. And I'm just like, you've just had 43 minutes of fucking executives pat themselves on the back. And I'm not saying it couldn't have been done without them. I'm not saying that.
Maybe it was about recognizing their hard work.
No, they get paid. No, you don't get a fucking trophy for doing what you're paid to do. That's not how life works. Like
Okay.
if they want to
It is
acknowledge all
sometimes.
the great like vendors and stands there and the volunteers, great. Have some of them talk. Have some of those ones talk, and not just the sponsors,
Okay.
because
I hate you.
Oh yeah, there was a sponsor talk actually.
yeah, there was a
Sight,
sponsored section as well.
yeah, Sight and
Sight and
Sound
Sound.
got a bit of a talk in. They talked to like I think his name was Stuart Moorhead and a few of the other people from Sight Village from over the years. And then they unveiled the new logo
Yeah,
of Queen Anne's College.
yeah.
Well, I actually thought it was quite good.
It was
But-
quite a nice logo. I would also say that's probably not the place. It's not a stakeholder meeting, so why would you unveil that there?
Maybe this says something about how sad I am or how much I enjoy a business kind of talk. But that was probably my favorite part of the evening.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you've done 45 minutes and you're already in a bad mood because you've had a bit of a bad day and you've
Oh no,
got-
I was in a great mood because
Oh,
I'd had
no.
plenty of beers.
Yeah, we had a few beers, and we went in there with a lot of positivity.
We tried to maintain that positivity, but I did fear that we were a little bit like Statler and Waldorf at the back of the Muppet Show at points.
Yeah, it was a little bit, and I don't know. It was just a little bit self-gratifying to a level that I didn't really appreciate.
I didn't think it was that bad, to
Okay.
be fair.
I thought it was a bit much,
Well,
personally.
what came next?
Cake, which we didn't have any
Okay.
of.
No, we didn't have any cake.
You didn't even try the cake.
And I said I probably should have, considering what I do for a living, but I didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
it was the lack of volunteers that they didn't have going around and
But
asking
again,
if
they
people
did say
wanted
that it wasn't a volunteered event, like a sighted guide event.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had some more beers instead.
Yeah. Well, we knew where the bar was.
Yeah.
So,
We were very strategically positioned between the toilets and the bar and not close enough that people could hear us chatting at the back. unless they could. Blind people have notoriously good hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
Although one thing I will say, moving on, is they don't have notoriously great pitch.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh, okay.
Please elaborate.
Let's get into this, shall we? So, again, I'm going to put my hand up and say there may be many reasons for what's about to follow. Some people might have a bad night. The setup might not be great. The acoustics might not be great. You don't know. Especially someone who's made a career in music and
Okay.
made like a living out of it. What I will say is after the speeches, there was around 100 people there.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't sold out by any
It
means,
was
by the way.
no, it wasn't.
Oh, because I saw it being advertised like a couple of weeks before, only 50 tickets left for the after party.
It was
Bullshit. I bet it
yeah,
only held 150.
yeah. There was
And not everyone turned up. I reckon that place was at best 3/4 full.
yeah,
Okay.
Probably not even that. 2/3.
yeah. Like I said, around 100 probably. There's around 100 people there.
A lot of them were people from the vendors and the stands and the colleges as well,
Yeah.
as opposed to actual.
There were blinkies there, but not. There weren't as many as
I wouldn't say many actual Sight Village goers. I don't think personally.
Okay. Right. So, Act 1.
Okay.
Yeah, Act
Act
1.
one. Well, this is a great way of giving context. At the beginning, around 100 people were there. Unfortunately, by the time Carl finished his sets, there must have been 10.
I think there was more than 10 there. 20.
Not by
maybe.
much.
So, is that who you had as a guest or not?
Carl, yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Okay.
I'm going to say 2025. It was a big room, man.
Okay.
Okay.
But it was noticeably sparser.
Where did the people go?
I couldn't tell you, but it seems they did not wish to stay there.
No.
As Tony mentioned, I would say the set was a little haphazard in the sense that they were sort of skipping through tracks between playing the tracks. So you'd hear like the first second of each like track as they skipped through them and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if it was me, I perhaps would have had a playlist just set up to go. But I don't know how well. I mean, I stood up there and done it myself, so I got a good idea roughly of how that would work. But you couldn't hear the guitar very well over the backing track, unfortunately, which I thought was a bit sad.
Yeah.
And this singing was a little off.
I don't know if he could hear his backing track,
That might have been it, yeah.
but it was a bit off.
In terms of pitch.
In terms of pitch. And there were a couple of instances of like him skipping a song instead of finishing it, like getting 2/3 away from the song and then skipping to the next song accidentally.
Oh.
That did happen, yeah. Yeah.
So everyone has a bad night. Like everyone has a bad night, but it didn't help with the people being there.
It was, yeah, a little haphazard, shall we say.
Yeah.
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 And how long was that?
Half hour, do you reckon?
Half hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
About that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Now, as T says, bear in mind a room that potentially holds 150
Yeah.
cars, depending on how you bear it, between 10 and 25 people in.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were like at the back, and there was so
It was
much
quite
space.
quiet.
It was quite quiet, and we did our best to try and get. We weren't arseholes. We were still applauding and
Yeah.
trying to get behind him, but there's only so much two men at the back can do.
Yeah.
Especially when people weren't acknowledging it halfway through as well. Like they were just carrying on with their conversations, and I'm just like,
Oh God.
It was very awkward.
And then Act 2.
Then Act 2.
So, yeah. bear in
Now,
mind there's, let's say, potentially 25 people in the audience.
Yes.
Uh, they announced Sydney to come on, who, uh, by their own right, had never done a set that long before, a comedy set. But they came on and started telling jokes, and to the credit, they were going for it. But I would argue that due to the lack of crowd and the sort of almost eerie quiet, it was awkward.
it was
Oh.
very awkward. You need a crowd for comedy, like you do, because not everyone finds not everyone's laughing in unison on a joke. Like you can have some people won't find it funny, some people will find it funny, and you're hoping for that good mix to always have that sort of feedback. But when you have that situation, and there's at most, I'd say 20 people at this point, it's very difficult. And like we said, there were a lot of vendors there. It wasn't just Blinkies. And Sydney's set is very weighted towards visual impairment and blindness, which I get. But if you have non-blinkies there, are they going to feel uncomfortable laughing at blind jokes?
Mm.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Do you think they should have started off with the comedy, followed
Sydney
by
should
the...
Yeah.
yes.
We were saying that at the time because me and T stepped out for a second or few
Next went to the pub.
to grab a drink, yeah.
Yeah.
To the bar next door. And to have a quick chat about it. And then we went back as they were still doing the set and it was still eerily quiet and quite awkward. And that was for a participant, so I can only imagine that Sydney was
Mm.
probably only relishing the fact that they were getting paid for it.
Yeah.
I don't. They might have enjoyed it if they did, great.
Mm.
From the bits that me and T saw, it did seem quite awkward.
Yeah, that's why we went next door. It was very uncomfortable.
So we caught bits of their set, didn't we?
Yeah.
But not the full set.
Right.
No, couldn't do it.
We did leave a little bit before their end of their set, in fact. So I didn't know exactly what went on after that set. I hear there was
Have a DJ.
they were supposed to have a DJ if there was anyone left by that point. But me and T went back to the pub.
Yeah. I mean, how can you have a DJ in a disco like that? Ultimately, at that point, it was getting near what, 9:30, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it was about 9:30, wasn't it? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember because I remember going to the pub and asking them whether they were still doing food.
Yeah. So at that point, you're going to get people going anyway because of it's getting a bit later on a
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just wonder if DJ Ben had anyone to DJ to.
Be interesting to know.
Yeah, well, we weren't there for that. That would have been awkward as well.
Totes Orcs.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So, yeah, Sydney should have gone on first.
I think, yeah, Sydney should have gone up first, and they probably also should have had like a couple of shorter sets, just like
20
broke it
minutes.
up a little bit,
Mm.
like done like 2 lots of 20 or something.
I don't even think 2 lots of 20. Like Sydney already said, they must have done just 10 minutes. Do a 20-minute set, then have a break for 10 minutes, then another 20-minute set with Carl, and then go on to the disco.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's a Monday.
Yeah.
It's a Monday. People have things to do.
Mm.
So, you're not staying out late on a Monday. Well, we did, but yeah, we still went to work the next day
Yeah.
because we're animals. So, yeah.
We went back to Gloucester Green and then back to Sacks of Potatoes. And then when Sacks of Potatoes kicked out, we took an Uber back to the Travel Lodge.
Yep. One thing I will say about the event, I did see a lot of stereotypes of vision impaired and blind people, which I felt very uncomfortable about. One in particular was when we were leaving to go like after the entertainment, and an Uber was picking up someone in a guide dog with their guide dog, and the driver was absolutely fine, but the blind person kicked off about it. The driver just didn't want the dog on the seat. And then the individual quite quickly got into a shouting match of "You can't refuse me, you can't refuse me," and even the driver said, "I'm not refusing you. Can you just not have the dog on the seat? It's raining." Which was very reasonable. He'd pulled the seat forward and everything. There was room for the dog. He just asked the dog not to be on the seats, which I think is reasonable. And I was just like, let's just keep moving. Keep moving. I can't deal with this right now. It was just the jump to discrimination when it was a very reasonable request from a taxi driver. So,
Also in blind stereotypes, I got caught in a revolving door.
yeah, you did.
He managed to just slip into the revolving door, and I went in straight behind him, and I got caught in it. So
Yeah.
Oh God.
But the staff were great.
yeah,
Yeah, the staff were really compassionate to you. You're getting stuck in their door.
luckily the doors just stop as soon as they think something's
Yeah,
trapped in it, and then it carries on going. So
Yeah, that's lucky. They weren't. Yeah,
and I haven't lost an arm.
yeah.
And yeah, that was Sight Village. Oh yeah, the bus was late on the way back as well.
Yep.
Another half an hour.
Yeah.
And then I went straight to work.
Yep, same.
You got bus back really early then, and
About 10:30. I only did half a day at work.
Okay.
So.
I thought you were on the 7 o'clock bus back.
No, we could have been, but then I decided against that one.
Yeah. So, Sight Village, the summary. I don't know if it was depreciated because of like the actual day event because we did it last year.
I definitely think it's depreciated because we did it last year. We did it too much last year.
So
It's still a great event.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's still got value there.
I think we just got less out of it because we'd done a load of it before.
Yeah.
If you go there for the first time, great, banging.
Yeah.
But
like going to Alton Towers, you've done all the rides and you go back.
yeah, you
know-
maybe leave it a couple of years between going.
Yeah.
Then there's a bunch of new rides there.
Yeah. But yeah, I still see the value of it. It's just I'm not going to go back for a couple of years at the very least.
You don't want to stand next year then?
No.
Okay.
Well, here's another thing that I think they would benefit from, right? Just a bit of entertainment in the corner. Like they could just have like a little mini stage with like people talking, doing radio bits, interviewing some of the
creators.
Like the vendors and people like that. Do you know what I mean? Just constantly going around it. They can even shout out the seminars and things like that. I don't just take a corner and let them do it. Like we could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that would break with tradition, and I don't think they're ready for that. I imagine this is the same format Sight Village has been doing for the 30 years that they've been celebrating. So, change is hard to make.
But they start with a nice new logo. So,
well, that wasn't for Sight Village. That was for
Queen Anne's College. Okay, admittedly, yeah.
Yeah. So, we will not be there next year.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's still some value there, but
I would say if you've never been before, well worth going.
Yeah, I think it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the only silver lining I could potentially get out of it is the blind golf side of things, and potentially have more on that down the line. But that's something I am really interested in because I'd heard of it, but not really known much about it. So we'll probably have a show coming up in the future, which goes into that a little bit more detail. So, any more questions, Selina?
No.
Okay.
Sad. But yeah, maybe I'm glad I didn't go.
And on that drab note, much like the city of Birmingham, we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Seesaw Podcast. Your feedback and comments mean a lot to us, so if you'd like to get in touch, you can do so in the following ways.
You can find us on X at Seesaw Pod, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Seesaw Podcast. You can email us at seesawpodcast@gmail.com and you can stream with us live every week on Twitch at Seesaw Podcast.
Remember to like, rate, review and share with a friend.
This podcast was recorded in front of a blind audience.